do you know what is the difference between NRE account and NRO account?
One of those accounts you can have recurring money in rupees coming into your account.
NRE, NRO, do you have both?
No, not doing NRI. I think I have an NRI account.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, is it NRE or NRO?
No.
The other one is where you can put in dollars, but you can't have money.
Say if you have a house in India and if you are getting rent, where
then
will you
it
put
be
that
an
rent?
NRO account.
When I became an NRI for the first time, I walked into ICICI Bank. They treated me like a VIP, chai, coffee, everything. And then they said, sir, you need both NRE and NRO accounts. But what they did not tell me is in many cases, you don't even need one of them. And honestly, I opened both because I thought that's what all NRIs do. And that's where the problem starts, because choosing the wrong account is not just a small mistake. It can affect your taxes, your ability to move money out of India, and in some cases even create compliance issues you don't see coming in. And most NRIs don't realize this until it is too late. In fact, one simple mistake here can make your own money feel stuck for a long time. So in this video, I'll break down when you need an NRO account, when you actually need NRE, why most people get this wrong, the big money mistake, and where FCNR fits into all of this. The first mistake is not understanding the structure of NRI accounts. Most people think there are just one or two accounts, but in reality, there are three distinct buckets, and each one is designed for a different purpose. You have your NRE account, NRO account, and FCNR account. An NRE account is a rupee account meant for your money you earn outside India, like your foreign salary and your savings abroad. It is a fully repatriable account, which means you can move money in and out of India freely. An NRO account is also a rupee account, but it is meant for income generated within India, things like rent, interest, or dividends. This account comes with a repatriation limit and documentation requirements. And then there is FCNR, which most of the people don't even talk about. An FCNR account holds money in foreign currency, like US dollars. So your money is not converted into rupees at all. That means you are not exposed to INR depreciation while the money is parked. So now think about this. If you're earning in dollars, converting everything into rupees and holding it there without a plan, you're taking a currency risk without even realizing it. This is where FCNR becomes useful, especially for short-term parking or when you plan to move money again in future and if you don't want to take the rupee depreciation risk. But the trade-off is that it is typically used as a fixed deposit. So you are trading flexibility for stability. All right, so the structure is very clear. NR is for foreign income in rupees, NRO is for Indian income in rupees, and FCNR is for foreign income in foreign currency. One very common mistake I have seen is people continuing to use their old resident savings account in India even after becoming an NRI. It feels harmless because you have always used it. But under FEMA, this is not allowed and it can create compliance issues later. It is not just about which account you use. It is also about how you move your money between countries. Because every time you transfer money, you're losing a little bit without even realizing it through exchange rates, bad timings, and hidden fees. And over years, this quietly adds up to thousands of dollars. I started paying attention to this myself. And now, this is exactly what I use when I move my money between the US and India. Krobo. Krobo gives me better exchange rates, sometimes even better than what you see on Google, and zero transfer fees compared to any traditional banks. So more of my money reaches where it is supposed to reach. And especially for larger transfers, this makes a real difference. And right now they are offering a $25 gift card on your first transfer above $500 with my special link in the description below. Check it out. Our old friend Raj from San Francisco did that too. He transferred 15 lakh rupees into his resident savings account in India and used it to buy stocks in Indian stock market. But this got flagged because as an NRI, you're not allowed to operate a regular savings account. He ended up paying a penalty of around 30,000 rupees and his 15 lakh investment got stuck in the process. He then had to go through additional paperwork, move everything into the correct NRO account to fix this issue, and this took months to resolve. Now, as an NRI, if you sell your house in India, do you know exactly where your money should go? Let me know in the comments below. Once you do not understand this structure, every decision after that, where to put your money, how to invest, how to move it, it becomes harder. And that leads directly to the second mistake. The second mistake is not about knowing the accounts. It is about how you actually use them. Let me give you an example. Raj. He's working in the US and earning in dollars. And he also has rental property in India generating some income. Now his US to INR transfer should go into where? NRE account or the FCNR account. And his rental income should go into NRO account. But instead, Raj starts routing everything into just one account, just to keep things simple. At first, nothing feels wrong. Money is coming in, accounts are active, everything looks fine. But over time, this creates confusion because now Raj cannot clearly separate what is his foreign income and what is his India income. These accounts are not interchangeable. They are governed by specific rules under FEMA. And once money goes into the wrong bucket, fixing it later is not always straightforward. This is also where people start making decisions based on taxes. They see TDS in NRO accounts, which can be around 30% on certain income, and they try to completely avoid it, right? But TDS is just your withholding. It is not your final tax. Your actual tax depends on your total situation and can be adjusted when you file your returns through DTAA. So optimizing only for TDS can lead to wrong account choice. And over time, these small missteps compound and you end up with money sitting in places where it is hard to move, harder to explain, and hardest to manage. And that is where the third mistake begins. The third mistake is not planning how you will move your money. I'm kind of a one-man army creating all this content. Sometimes I'm in the park talking to random people, sometimes writing my own scripts, and sometimes spending hours researching about the topics which will interest you. And I genuinely love that I'm able to share everything I have learned completely free here on YouTube. So all I ask is give me a thumbs up for a like. And if you have already watched a couple of my videos, think about subscribing. As my kid says, thumbs for likes and subs for love. That's my love language. All right, let's get back to the third mistake. Most people focus on where to put money, but very few think about how they will take it out. Let's go back to Raj. Over the years, his rental income, dividends, and some mixed funds have all accumulated in his NRO account. Now Raj decides he wants to move a large portion of that money back to the US. This is where things slow down because money in an NRE account is freely repatriable, but money in an NRO account is not. There is a limit of up to $1 million per financial year that can be repatriated from NRO account. And this is not automatic. Raj now has to go through a process. He needs to prove the source of the fund, show that the taxes have been paid, and submit proper documentation like Form 15CA and 15CB. If everything is clean, this works. But if his flows were mixed up earlier, now it becomes difficult to explain what came from where, which one is US fund, which one is India fund. And that is where your money can get stuck in the process for weeks, sometimes months, and I have heard more than that if your documentation is not clean. Sometimes transfers take time, it takes longer. Sometimes bank asks more questions, sometimes paperwork, they have to be redone. And this is not something that affects recent transactions only. I have seen situations where decisions made years earlier come back at this stage because these compliance issues, they do not really expire. They have no expiry date and it can come back anytime. These are the times when most people realize they should have planned things earlier. Because once the money is sitting in the wrong structure, fixing it is not instant. And this is not about avoiding NRO. NRO is required for Indian income. This is about understanding not all money is equally movable. NRE is flexible. NRO comes with conditions. Another example I have seen is with FCNR accounts. Raj's dad was working abroad and he had opened an FCNR account, keeping his money in dollars. But after a few years, he moved back to India and became a resident again. At that point, FEMA requires that these FCNR deposits should be converted. It should be converted either into resident rupee account or an RFC account when they mature. But he did not do any of that. He just kept renewing the FCNR deposits for years as if he was still an NRI. This is a direct FEMA violation, and under Section 13 of FEMA, penalties can go up to 3 times the gains involved. So the real takeaway here is simple. Keep your flows clean, track your sources properly, and always think one step ahead about how you want to move your money in the future. Because the entry is always easy. The exit is where planning actually matters. Your finance friend Sushant, signing off.